Well, there's a big thing to do is, how do you know his will for your life? How do you even know? And people struggle with this because they think God's will for your life is something like, should I marry that guy or that girl? Should I change jobs? Should I take this new position? Should I be friends with them, right? And that has nothing to do with God's will. Actually, in Psalm 37, he says, do whatever you want. Why are you asking me? And he says that in there by saying, delight yourself in the Lord, and he gives you the desires of your heart. So the Hebrew there means literally, if you delight in him, do what you want. Does that make sense? Right. This is Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. Wait a minute. So how is your heart guarded? It doesn't say the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds based on how much work you do in the church. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say by how active you are in ministry. It doesn't say by how many good deeds you do. So how can you have an evil heart that's guarded by Jesus Christ? You just said a minute ago, well, the heart's desperately wicked, and who can understand it? And then you got a verse that says, but God just said, his peace will guard you in Christ Jesus. So what is Jesus doing with an evil heart? Why, does he just look at everybody in the room and go, okay, I got to get to work here. There's a lot of hearts that are screwed up, and I got work to do. I got to fix them all. Is that what he does? Right, so we got to step back and think about who this Jesus Christ is and who God is, and we can look at it in terms of what we know about him, right? And he says in the Bible he's holy, and if he's holy, there's no way he can forgive you. It's not possible. We shake our head yes, but we got to let that sink in. He cannot forgive you. So there must be a way he forgives you. And so literally, when he talks about, in this verse, when Paul talks about the peace of God, go to Romans 5, verse 1. It's unbelievable. Here's what God's saying. I can't stand sin and evilness. I can't stand it, right? It makes me throw up. It's abhorrent to me, and I am against you, and you are enmity towards me, and I am enmity towards you. My wrath is fully on you. But just trust me. Just trust me. Trust me with who you are as a person. Give me your life. And guess what? You get his peace completely. Completely. So stop worrying about how wicked you are. He already knows that. There's nothing new to him. And yet, what do we do most of the time as Christians? I suck. I did it again today. You know, I should be a better person. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And God goes, what are you telling me? I already knew that. I already knew that. So the power of God comes from him, not you. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said it wonderfully. I always ask this question. Do you know who he was? Right. He was the monk in Germany. Not a monk, really. He was a Lutheran priest, a Lutheran pastor, who got onto Hitler, realized it. He was part of the confessing church, and he literally was actually helping plot Hitler's assassination. Great, great Christian. Wrote some amazing books. But 2 weeks before the Allied soldiers liberated Germany and the country surrounded, destroyed Hitler, they hung him in a concentration camp. And he said this verse this quote. I think everybody needs to really put this to heart. To be disappointed with yourself means to have believed in yourself. You follow what he's saying? When you get disappointed because you didn't do something, it's a selfish thing. Because you believed you could. Right? Paul says it in that verse that everybody screws up. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He doesn't say I can do all things. He says, without Christ, I'm nothing. Jesus in John 15 says, without me you can do nothing. So when you sin and you have these things in your life that happen, it's not about being disappointed because you thought you shouldn't be doing them. It's about repenting and coming back to your dad, back to your father, because you want to please him. And he's there like this the whole time. That's the whole point of the prodigal son story. He's there the whole time. It's so countercultural, we just don't think that way.